gosh, you guys, I can't believe... I just can't believe how many of these fools there are. Like, this has been a takeover that's been happening for a long time. And I know that that's like, well, no shit, but sometimes you have these moments and you're... This awful energy has been in our community for a long time. And have you noticed how these perps, they love to wave the American flag? They really... See, that could be taken two ways. They're so stupid and they believe all the lies and they think that they're defending America. Well, it's probably both ways, actually. Or it's one of their stupid messages. That is clearly, yeah, obviously it is a threat to America. Clearly. So I kind of want to get back to our roots here a little bit, and I want to talk about how do you know when you're talking to a perp? I've been thinking about this because I get your guys' emails and your comments and stuff, and I have to navigate my own life. So I wanted to talk about this. I don't want to forget about this for anybody who's just come on or just brand new to your campaign, or I'm sorry, the awareness of your campaign, I should say. So first thing you can tell, like when you're meeting someone, or you don't even really have to be meeting them, but they try to appeal to you. Remember, like you'll end up having a lot in common, or they'll be ranting on a conversation about themselves, and they'll be like, you'll notice you'll hit on a lot of things that are similar to you. Those are all tricks to get you, oh, we have so much in common. But remember back before your campaign, if you're able to, and remember how often that happened, and compare it to that. It wasn't as often as it is now. It's just the way that they present it and the damage that you have occurred makes it difficult to tell, right? It makes it really difficult. That's why these tactics are in place, to make it all fuzzy like that. So we're just going to recap here. So, yeah, just try and remember, try and draw from before your campaign. Like a couple of years before you were made aware of it. Give it a good leeway. Because what they want you to think is that you've been gang stalked your whole life. And some people, you know, I know that that does happen to some people. But let's not just say that that's our story. Because we don't know that. So I would look back to when you became aware of your campaign and give it like 2 to 3 years before that. And draw from your memories before that when you're attempting to distinguish what is normal behavior, human behavior, from a friend or foe and what's not. So... And so yeah, they try to appeal to you. I'm sure you've noticed this tactic. They also try to appeal to the ego. They love doing this. Don't fall for that. Now, when you're spending like a few days with one of them, notice how if you have to, we have such weird circumstances as targeted individuals, don't we? So I know I just heard that come out of my mouth, but It's like the movie The Game. I mean, sometimes you get stuck in a twister with one of these douchebags and you're exposed to them for like a few days. That kept happening to me before I had full knowledge. And I was gang stalked in the hospital, and my problem is, well, I don't know if it's a problem or a good thing, but I look at everything as an adventure. And and if you look at this, when I say look at the whole operation, stand back and look at it, that's important. I'm not saying stand back and look at all the tactics as a whole. I'm talking about the whole operation. From the Illuminati all the way down. But try not to think about what's next as far as tactics. Try not to even think about the tactic that they're currently using on you. Look past the tactics, I guess is what I'm saying. So, yeah, when you're spending like a few days with one of them, notice how they get hot and cold towards you. They love doing that. That's a mind game. A mind and emotional torture. They just love doing that. That's a telltale pattern that they do. So study these tactics, these different tactics that people use, perps use. Then try to see if you can locate the tactic they might be using on you during that intense attack or moment, right? So other tactics they try and use are, if somebody's trying to get close to you like really fast, what's your problem, dude? Who does that? You'll notice that's a trend. They try and get close to you really, really fast because they're just going to spit you on the pavement and send you to the next perp. So they have to do everything in a short amount of time if you're wise to the program and you don't get close to a lot of people. Excuse me. They say things like, I would never hurt you, or you can trust me. You keep hearing this crap. People who are true to you don't run around saying you can trust me, because it's a non-issue. The trust thing is a given. Forcing trust or taking trust, trying to talk you into trust is a dead giveaway. And again, they'll try and do it fast. They throw in hints about your life. They'll pretend like they're talking about yourself. Above all, though, it's the bad energy. If you just don't like them, quit trying to figure out if they're a perp or not. It's the energy. Forget it. It doesn't even matter. And just assume that they are. Just don't allow that to... You gotta find the balance to where you still fight to be close to people, but you are extremely careful about it. But don't cut yourself off entirely, or that's another way of them winning. And that is, you're just giving away so much doing that. You really are. So when they're using these tactics on you, see if you can locate the tactic at that particular time. Practice looking at the program when you're out and about as a whole. Like I was saying, the whole pyramid, not just the whole scheme of tactics. Like, oh my gosh, this tactic, and dissecting that particular tactic at that time. What's the next tactic going to be? That's exactly what they want you to do. And it's just a big show anyway. So try and do this even as it's happening to you. This causes you to detach, and when you implement it properly and consistently, it gets easier, more automatic. Doing this also helps you continually look at the whole big picture rather than just seeing the tactic or trap that's right in front of you. Right? Okay, that's really, really important. You don't want to just look at what's right in front of you. That's why they're creating that distraction. It's just a distraction. And it's always something different every day, as we know. And they make it so in your face. I know how difficult it is. They make it so in your face. But this invasion at the bottom of it has no power unless it has your attention. That's it. That's why they're always trying to get it. How does one take their attention away, right? It's so overwhelming. Meditation it's wonderful for this. Transcendental meditation. If you can learn, or if you can afford to learn how to do that, or find somebody I wouldn't find somebody, well, I don't know, everyone's situation's different, but it's not something that's easy to find, though. And it's not like our culture's association with meditation at all, you guys. It's not all watered down, like you just lay down and say a bunch of nice shit to yourself with a breeze in the background. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I mean the real stuff, the good stuff, the Indian stuff. Not just this idea we have of meditation. Concentration meditation, now that is something that you can just Google or YouTube, and you're going to have all kinds of ideas, and that is such a wonderful tool. You can just sit, and it's a cleansing of the mind meditation. It really is. And concentration meditation, it's exactly what the conversation we're having about is here, is diverting your attention from the trolls back to your inner self, because nobody believes us anyway, so who do we cling to? Ourselves. It's the perfect opening for some intense spiritual experiences if there's a level of readiness there, because it causes you to really cling to yourself and to look inward and draw from places that you didn't know existed. It's just so wonderful. So please look into that. Concentration meditation. There's a few different names for it, but just YouTube it. Check it out. And there's breathing techniques. Man, some of these breathing techniques, I just felt the anxiety. This one in particular. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll hit like. That's what I'll do. I'll start digging around for these videos. Because it's all up here in my head. But I'll find the videos of the stuff I'm talking about, and I will put it on my channel for you guys. So all you have to do is go to my channel, click on it, or you can go find it yourself. Either way, I'll make it available to you. Make it really easy. So, concentration meditation, taking the attention away from the ass clowns. They really do have some great techniques. I'm so glad that I thought I stumbled, right? We always think everything is coincidence in life, but I thought I stumbled upon my inquiry when I found it in my guru. And it was about 6 months. I had a period of 6 months of intense inquiry and meditation. And inquiry is essentially asking the question, who am I? Like, really? Who am I? The person that's observing all this. Who is observing all this? Just to give you a little gist of it, that is a really bad gist. I'm sorry. But I suggest meditation before even getting up to pee in the morning, because it cleans your mind. Your mind is like a computer filing all this destruction all day. And this is just coming in and trashing it out. The meditation is the dump truck for the mind of all the crap. So before moving about and collecting and storing all the horrific data that you will be exposed to that day, do it throughout the day if you want to. But meditate in the morning. Try it out before you get out of bed, and make like a routine out of it, because the more you meditate, don't meditate necessarily for the sake of results. Meditate for the sake of routine and meditating, because a lot of times we're getting results, but it's not on the surface and what's associated with what we would think are results. And then sometimes we have incredible meditation experiences, and then sometimes you're just kind of mediocre. But it's very important to always remain consistent with it, because it might not look like it on the outside, but it's always doing its job. And who are we to judge how up and down the universe's job might be? I mean, we just learned that lesson on a huge scale. A huge, ginormous scale, didn't we? Oh. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. So yeah, do it throughout the day if you want, and look up the breathing exercises, and I'll see if I can find that really kick-ass one that I liked. I got really good results from. Actually, I can ask somebody for it. So, and I suggest reading something that actually explains what the purpose of meditation is, and kind of detaching from our culture's explanation of it, and detaching really from everything that has been presented for us as we've learned, because it's inaccurate. So yeah, it doesn't even have to be... Wait a minute. Did I lose my place? Yeah, it doesn't have to be a spectacular energy that you're replacing with the bad energy. So again, I'm talking about taking your attention away from the bad energy and replacing it with something else, like meditation or something. It doesn't even have to be a spectacular energy that it's replaced by. It could be a mediocre one. It's an attention game with them. Look at it as a game of attention when you're around them and when you're not, all the time. All right. I know it's really hard, but fear is their weapon, you guys. Don't be afraid. I know it's silly for me to even say that, but when you expose yourself to little by little to these fears more and more, the more you get used to it, you've got to find a way to condition yourself. There's a variety of ways. Do not let this fear rule you. With all things in life, before we do something important or are going through a time, it seems like the fear is just going to overwhelm us completely. But remember back how that didn't happen? You faced it, and it was kind of like, oh, what happened to the fear? Surely it must have been stored, like, in some dark corner of the universe. But it's not. It's vanished because you canceled it out and replaced it with a different energy. It's just this doctrine karma, basically. But not this karma as we know it in our culture, as we have been told. I mean, I'm drawing from karma from ancient Indian texts. And see, religion and our culture, that's all a design of the people behind this. Not completely, but what they've distorted it into, yeah, absolutely. It is. So I asked this question. I tend to ask this question. Okay, well, what about what was before religion? And that was inquiry. And I'm not saying it's the end all, and that means that it's the way to go. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying you should believe it. I'm just saying that that's where I always draw to, because I know that it is safe and so outside of America. And because I get the results that I do, it plays a huge part in me being able to determine and navigate life while this huge assault on my mind and body is going on. I don't know what I'd do without it. I absolutely, yeah. So I had an intense 6-month period of inquiry, and I was just so grateful that it came into my life when it did, and that I was, for whatever reason, able to receive it. Because I wasn't always a receiving person, I suppose, on some of these matters. I'm just so grateful for my guru, my God. Thank God, thank Guru, thank Jesus, thank them all. Thank them all. So they're switching up my threats again today. Just like bombarding me with threats. I typically only get a few threats a month. But it's been, obviously because the channel's up and I just won't shut up. It's all the time, every day, and then sometimes it'll be a few different threats in the same day. So, wow, yeah. So today was a new one. Threats by email. Gotta love that. It's good practice for me, rooting you guys out. Gotta look at it as a game, man. You do. It doesn't mean you have to like it. But if you want to survive, unfortunately, we have to play this stupid game. Oh, I was going to tell you, yeah, you can tell who's more important in their community of leeches by the level of intelligence these perps have. And don't underestimate, ever, you guys. They will try to appear less intelligent than they are. So you got